Do you want to be scared? Do you want a horror movie that will make you curl up in a little ball next to your boyfriend, your non-existent boyfriend? A horror movie that truly sends shivers down your spine, something like The Grudge, something like scary, spooky, scary skeletons? Well, if you do, then this movie's not for you. Hey guys, my name is Blue and I make art videos, but sometimes, rarely, on special occasions, or when I'm feeling particularly unstable, I will decide to come out of my burrow and talk about things that I think about, and most of the time these things are going to be horror movies and stuff that I spend my money on, which I've been kind of empty in the bank account, so a lot of these videos are going to be about horror movies. Speaking of which, I'm not sure why Netflix would put this movie under the horror movies section, because frankly, there's nothing horror about it. It's more like watching Bear Grylls drink his own piss. It's like mostly like just, hiking, drinking water from a little puddle of stagnant water. So this horror movie, we follow, actually I don't even remember his name. I watched the movie literally last night. This movie is so forgettable, you guys. It is so forgettable and stale. I watched this movie yesterday with my boyfriend. It is so unforgettable that I do not remember the name of the main guy, but I think that it's because that main guy is like kind of just like a weak character, which I will get into. Let's just call him Mike for the sake of the video, because I do not feel like googling it. I am not like a critic or something. I'm just talking about what I think about. Mike is the main guy, and straight off the bat, the directors want us to know that he's a social butterfly, okay? He's got 4 friends, could never be me. And also that he is a coward, and the movie revolves around the fact that he's a coward, like mostly the second bit. Sorry, Mike. No offense, but that's just what they did. But this is how they wrote the story, and it's not even horror. It's like, basically, if you want spoilers, watch this video. If you don't, click off the video. Just to give you like a quick rundown of the movie, it's like 4 friends in the middle of the woods being just like chased down by a big dog. My boyfriend described this big dog as like an elephant with 2 human hands for its tusks, with a human head. Make of that what you will. Start off with like the friends talking about what they want to do and like where they want to go for traveling. They want to have like they want to have some boys time, and when boys want to have boys time, they go in the mountains. I don't know, in this booth, like talking to each other in like a restaurant or whatever. I'm not an English speaker, most of that just went over my head, but what I could make of it is that they were talking about things they would like to do, and one of the guys is like, yeah, I want to go hiking in Sweden. And this also happens to be the guy that ends up dying, and he ends up dying because Mike is a coward. Mike wants to go to the store to buy something, and that guy like decides, he like agrees to go with him. Mike asks him and he's like, okay, cool. And when they're in this store looking for stuff to buy, there is a robbery, and Mike slyly just like hides behind one of the aisles, and this friend that decided to come with him, yeah, he gets killed. And this is like where you first find out that Mike is a coward. I know it's wrong to call him a coward, but he could have done something. Obviously, his friends have mixed feelings about him now, how he could have helped the other friend whenever that happened, but they never bring it up. They never bring these things up until they start to go crazy on the hike, which happens later on in the movie. But so that happens, and to like honor him or whatever, I think they go to Sweden and they go hiking there, and they put a little shrine, put a little picture of the friend that passed away, and then they like continue their hike, and they're supposed to go to this cabin, and this cabin is like across the fucking mountain. I don't know, they walk a lot, there's a lot of trees and Hello Kitty Island Adventure, hashtag announcement, hashtag gaming news. I'm gonna let this story over. So like they do a lot of walking. It's just supposed to be this therapeutic little hike where they're just, thinking about the good times, missing their friend. They honor their friend. They're kind of sad about it. They look over the mountain. They're like, would have been nice. If he was rare. If it was here, it would be really nice, and this and that, and like, like the usual. And then they start walking through the mountain and the woods and whatever. And then they come across this like huge tree. And on this tree, there's a deer. Someone killed a deer, emptied out its guts, and put it on one of the branches, like just stuck in the branches like not like a hangman, I don't know, just stuck in, like very non-human, very satanic, it was fresh too, and they still decided to keep going, which is unrealistic. Still up to this point, I could call it a horror movie because there was elements, you know, like you find a satanic little ritual hotspot in the woods, like a little deer hanging from the trees, fresh kale, yada yada yada. But and then they decide to go into the cabin. If you find in this fresh kale like 20 feet from the cabin, maybe the cabin is not the best place to. They go in and they go upstairs and they very quickly realize that like everything is leaky. If it rains, it's gonna pour in through the roof. And then they go upstairs and they find this like a human figure made of hay, but with chicken feet and antlers for hands and no head. And they still decide to stay there. After that, they start to be hunted by the spirit or whatever. And I just couldn't take it seriously because they'd be walking through the woods and they would just hear rustling and they'd be like, something's there, and then they just pause and stare, and there's a lot of just camera panning through the trees. For a good half of the movie, you just don't even see the monster. You just see really fast movements of this thing coming at them and killing them, and it started to feel like I was watching The Piranha or something. It did not feel like a horror movie. There was no witches, it was just people getting hunted by a dog, and it quite literally ended up being a dog, but apparently this dog had supernatural powers, and it's revealed at the end. Oh, and the Mike. So the whole thing about Mike being a coward, now it's somehow his responsibility to get his friends out of the woods because one of the friends got an injured knee and the other friend kind of just died. The other friend decided to sleep in the room with the hay figure and now keeps thinking about it, and everybody just passes away slowly. The dog kills them. Then there's this one friend with the knee left, and his name is Dom. I should remember his name because he was a better character than whatever Mike's name is. So when Dom's about to be Dom with the broken knee and Mike, the main character, they keep walking, scared, hungry. They're getting hunted. They run and they come across this little community in the middle of the woods, and these people don't even speak their language. They're just some weird, instead of help, they think they found help, but they just they're put in a room and they're handcuffed, and these people, you cannot trust them, and people decide to sacrifice Dom and keep Mike alive because Mike has the mark of the beast on his chest or something. He's the chosen one. He's Harry Potter. And Dom is a better character because all throughout the movie he was very mean to Mike. At some points he was it's our fault this happened. He got kind of hysterical after his knee injury and one of the friends dying, but at this moment, he's just kind of he shows some kind of character development. I mean, forgotten about the whole movie being a horror movie. At this point, I was just more for the character development that I cared about the horror elements because there was none. At this point, locked in the little cabin by these this crazy community, Dom's you know what, I've been having nightmares about this and I know I'm going to die and this thing is going to kill me. Which, another thing, after sleeping in that cabin every day, these group of friends would get nightmares. So, Dom was I know that this thing is going to kill me. I've been having dreams about it. I see how it's going to kill me. So, let my wife know that I really tried to get her. And I was oh my god, Dom, oh my god. Even you, being, the side character, have a more character development than our main guy. And then Mike just, sits there on the side, yes, brother. No, Dom, nothing's gonna happen to you. I'm gonna make sure nothing happens to you. But when they actually take him to sacrifice him to the beast in the woods, the weird people take Dom to sacrifice him. This guy still nothing changes with him. He's just trying to break free, but he doesn't break free in time, and Dom is sacrificed and this and that. I think that was the second point in the movie where they wanted to. I thought that point was going to be he was gonna redeem himself. That point was in the movie was supposed to be Mike being okay, I'm different now. I feel so guilty for one of my friends passing away while I was there and I didn't do shit. So I'm gonna have things different now, but didn't actually end up changing anything. And Dom did pass away, but the only thing he did do was burn the community to the ground, which Dom asked him to. So I guess he did show a little bit of strength, but not enough. And then I think I fell asleep because that was the end of the movie, and I think he burned the little cabins down, and the dog, the monster, the beast, trying to kill him after, and he was just trying to shoot him. the gun don't work, it's a magical monster, and then it's got deer feet, but it's really big. It almost, when I first saw the monster, it looked kind of like a tree. Like, it looked like Ivern from League of Legends. Biblically accurate Ivern from League of Legends. And it was just really comical to watch this guy, Mike, run for his life. And it really wasn't, there was no horror for me. And I really stopped looking for horror. I was mostly looking for Mike to redeem himself, and he never did. Did I enjoy my time watching the movie? I can't say. Was it horror? No. Did I find it under the horror section? Yes. Like, I don't know, guys. It's not a good movie. That's all. It's not a good movie.